Tell me honestly, if I asked you how many times you've relieved stress in the last 30 days, would you answer out loud, or blush and change the subject? Pause. He rolls the nut between his fingers, like a monk with prayer beads. This is where the taboo begins. For most men, the prostate only comes into focus when it turns a night's sleep into a marathon of bathroom trips. Before that, it's a dark room behind a closed door where no one turns on the light. Why? Awkward. Embarrassing. Not a manly topic. A 10-second courage test. Blake looks up. Do you masturbate, or have sex 20 times a month? Do you know that this habit, according to European urology, reduces the risk of prostate cancer by 1/3? Do you still keep quiet about it during your next medical checkup? If at least one point is a yes, like this video right now for your honesty. This gesture tells the YouTube algorithm that conversations, without male bravado, are needed just as much as vitamin D in December. Where we go from here? Blake clips the microphone to his collar, dims the studio light to a chamber lamp. The atmosphere of a confession will break down why daily release flushes the gland, just like rain flushes the drains on a roof. I'll show you what happens to this guy, taps on the model, after 40, when hormones rebuild the city without warning the residents. And yes, you get a step-by-step checklist, from tomato sauce to Kegels, so you don't rely on a miracle pill, but become the sheriff of your own prostate. Why you can't turn it off right now? Blake takes out a thin endoscopic probe, places it next to the gate nut. Do you know what this probe and your silence have in common? Both can save your life, only if you let them go deeper than comfortable. The words echo in the silence. He leans back on the table, his gaze softer. Shame is a bad doctor. It treats the symptom with silence and sends the disease deeper. Today, we pull the plug on this doctor, agreed. Blake clicks the remote, the title flashes on the monitor. Before the video jumps to the next chapter, a voiceover reminds, like if your heart beats a little faster. Subscribe so you don't lose the route. Comment, write how many nights you wake up because of the bathroom. And now buckle up, we are turning on the light fully. Look, your bladder is a water tower. There's only one pipe leading out, the urethra. And right at the exit, like a jealous gatekeeper, sits the prostate. The size of a walnut, the weight of a fast food ketchup packet, but with the power of a toll booth barrier. If it wants, it can completely block the flow. At the top is a bladder attached, at the bottom, a muscular pelvic diaphragm. The prostate is like a sandwich between two buns. If it swells, it presses both up and down. That's why when it enlarges, you take longer to start. The pressure inside the tower is normal, but the barrier doesn't lift. The stream weakens. The pipe's cross-section the size of a penny turns into a credit card slit. Nighttime trips. The tower signals, overfilled, but the gates open with a creak. You have to run more often. Blake clicks on the tablet. An animation on the screen. Warm fluid from the seminal vesicles flows into the prostate. The prostate is a factory of energy gel for sperm. Without its secret, semen would become a column of soldiers without rations. Not all would make it. Inside the nut, an entire network of glandular tubes. During orgasm, muscle waves squeeze the contents into the urethra, mixing with these guys from the testicles. And now the surprise, along with the lubrication, old cells, inflammatory agents, and metabolic products are expelled. Shot, flush the filter. With age, testosterone levels gradually decrease, but some of the hormone turns into DHT, a more hot steroid. DHT pushes prostate cells to multiply, like coffee to extra words. The result, the gland gains volume, like a sponge left under a tap. Add a sedentary office, fast food, and stress, you get low-level inflammation. It slightly undermines the drainage of the tubes, and fluid builds up inside. The tower presses, the barrier creaks, the man gets up at night and curses life, but doesn't go to the doctor. Blake draws on the model with his finger, narrows the urethra with a red marker. Imagine Dan, 47, a wine warehouse manager. In a bar, he drank a pint of IPA, sang along to Hotel California, and an hour later, he's running to the bathroom like on an assembly line. The stream, a trickle, the bladder seems never to empty. In the morning, he Googles cystitis in men, buys cranberry juice, and lives on. The problem? Not the beer, but the gatekeeper that swells and presses. Cranberry won't save, you need a PSA checkup plus digital test. But the tenor of shame is louder than common sense. The frame briefly catches viewer comments scrolling at the bottom, exactly about me. I get up 3 times at night. I'll go get checked. Blake raises his palm. Do you take more than 20 seconds to start the stream? Do you wake up more than 2 times a night? Do you feel drops after finishing? If yes, note the time when the video ends. Tomorrow you book a neurologist. Taboo, but we are adults. Better 15 seconds of awkward digital exam than months of awkward catheter, right? The screen switches to an infographic greater than 20 ejaculations equals 31% risk. Now you know where the enemy of comfort sits and what it's capable of. In the next chapter, I'll show how enhanced security control in the form of regular release and proper fuel reduces the risk of cancer. But right now, leave in the comments which of the 3 symptom lights might be flashing for you. And if none, write dry powder to inspire those who doubt. Like, for turning on the light in the darkest room of the male body. 1992, Harvard launches the Health Professionals Follow-Up Study. 18,000 guys, doctors, pharmacists, dentists. For 20 years, they answered 2 awkward questions. How many times do you finish in a month? Are you alive, buddy nut? The result, published in European Urology, the 2016 men, who ejaculated 21 times a month at ages 20 and 40 had a 31% risk of prostate cancer compared to those who shot 47 times. Blake takes out one black ball, replaces it with a transparent one, 31%, that's every 3rd black ball that could have become a tumor, but you flush it out. In the animation, the prostate is shown as a multipath system of tubes. Arrows carry out carcinogens, old cells, oxidative waste. Each ejaculation is a mini sprinkler. Imagine if you only did the dishes once a week, plaque, smell, bacteria. Do it every day, the plates slide. The prostate works the same way. Flush, remove the inflammatory plaque, Blake shakes the flask, transparent balls bubble, black ones float up and spill out. A bit of psychology. In offices, I encounter 2 fears. First, frequent equals bad, I'll deplete testosterone. Second, once a month equals I'm holy and won't get sick. Both are wrong. Testosterone doesn't drop from orgasm, but from a sedentary office, fast food, and lack of sleep. And rare release is like rare washing, stains set deeper. On the screen, an infographic myths versus facts. Myth reality, frequent masturbation burns sperm, your body produces new millions of cells every day. Rare equals preserving energy. Risk of congestive prostatitis, inflammation, BPH. Wife is the only option. The organ doesn't care about the method. Frequency of flushing matters. Imagine that 21 shots is a fire hose. Useful. But if the roof is made of dry boards, fried, sedentary, stress, the fire will still spread. Therefore, factor 21 is an element, not a deluxe insurance. He places 4 icon signs: lycopene, 30 minutes walk, 2 liters of water, PSA plus Dre. Now open your notes and draw 7 circles, the days of the week. Put a check mark after each orgasm. Partner, solo, doesn't matter. After a month, count the statistics. 20 or more. Pat yourself on the back and act on the 4 pillars. Less. The plan is laid out. Catch up with healthy habits and a conversation with your partner, or your own imagination. If right now in your head it's either phew, I'm normal, or I'll have to work on it, hit like. It's a sign that the conversation has reached the muscles, not just the ears. Subscribe so you don't miss chapter 4, where I show 3 hormonal jacks that make the nut swell like yeast dough, and what to do about it, what's happening inside. By ages 4045, gland cells receive a hormonal signal to grow, and keep growing until the volume doubles. Metaphor. A jack lifts the body, the chassis presses on the exhaust. Here, an enlarged prostate presses on the urethra. SOS symptom. More than 20 seconds trying to start in the bathroom, the stream splits or interrupts in the middle. Action checklist. If the answer is yes, sign up for an ultrasound, take a PSA test, discuss blockers or phytotherapy. Physics of the process. Testosterone decreases with age, but some of it turns into a more powerful fuel, dihydrotestosterone. DHT acts on prostate receptors like nitro for an engine, forcing cell growth. Life facts. High visceral fat plus inactivity enhance conversion to DHT, while slowing down overall testosterone. Countermeasures. 1. Reduce sugar and beer estrogen DHT. 2. Include strength training 23 times a week. Each workout equals -510% active enzyme 5 reductase. 3. Is prescribed by a doctor. Phytosterols, saw palmetto, sometimes finasteride. Biology. Over a lifetime, prostatic cells divide billions of times. The older, the more bad bits in the DNA. Inflammation plus congestion of juice equals oxidative, smoke damaging the genetic code. Metaphor. Imagine working on an important document, but each save through an outdated hard drive loses a couple of characters. Over time, the text turns into mush. This is how atypical cells appear. Risk breaks. Plenty of antioxidants, lycopene, cooked tomatoes, EGCG, green tea, turmeric plus black pepper. Regular flushing, see factor 21, reduces stagnant radicals. Symptom never, sometimes, often, starting urine greater than 10 seconds, wake up 2 times at night, feeling of incomplete, emptying, notice drops after finishing, fill it out now, take a screenshot, and add to notes. 2 or more cells in, often call a urologist this week. Blake takes out a pack of tomato paste. 1 tablespoon of cooked paste equals 12 milligrams of lycopene. This is the daily dose that proved to reduce PSA by 10% in 3 months, at Ohio University Clinic. Add paste to an omelette or stew, and the autosave is stronger. The camera returns to the jack. Blake slowly lowers the nut. We lifted the prostate with the jack, saw where it presses. In the next chapter, I'll tell you about the Japanese study hidden plug, the theory that a microcrystalline clot can form inside, and how ordinary spring root juice supposedly dissolves it. Liked the visualization? Like and share. Write in the comments which of the 3 shifts seems the most dangerous to you. And now, a QR code for a brief anti-DHT diet checklist. Scan, download, practice. See you in section 5, where we'll check if it's marketing or science. In 2022, Japanese urologist Kenji Ito published a report for the Osaka Medical Expo. He observed patients with BPH whose PSA and ultrasound indicated enlargement, but classic medications, alpha blockers, 5 reductase inhibitors, barely relieved the symptoms. During biopsy, they found microconcrements, dense clusters of denatured protein plus calcium clogging the excretory ducts. Ito called this phenomenon prostatic hidden plug, copy-edit inflammation, cell death, proteins plus calcium salts, crumb plus secretion stasis lump 13 mm in diameter lump blocks the passage pressure, pain, weak stream report, and patented the drink spring root juice. A mixture of spring water pH 8.6, celery extract, potassium citrates, and fermented pomegranate. Marketing promise: dissolve the plug in 48 hours, urine flow like a mountain river. The website offers a mega discount until midnight and a chart, before-after, stream increased by 142%. At the bottom, small text FDA statement not evaluated, alkaline water, pH 8, may slightly thin the mucus secret, but it reaches there after thousands of transformations. Potassium citrates, a classic component for urinary stones, they alkalize urine and prevent calcium crystallization in the bladder, kidneys. But the prostate ducts are not the kidney. The concentration of citrate must be higher than safe oral intake allows. Dissolve a protein plug can only be done with proteases, but the enzymes in the drink are inactivated in the stomach. Randomized double-blind studies, 0. There is only a 42-person observational study by Napa BioFlush itself. 12 out of 42 reported significant relief of flow, without control. This is placebo hypnosis. Blake places a cloudy protein lump cast from gelatin plus calcium into 2 cups. Cup A, plain water pH 7.0, cup B, spring root juice pH 8.6, timer 15 minutes. The camera shows in fast motion, both tablets are almost unchanged. Alkaline environment slightly crumbles calcium, but the protein network, like a pea against an elephant. The simplicity of a YouTube video does not replace enzymatic cleaning performed by natural orgasms and massage of the ducts. Read the fine print on the website. No phrase double-blind controlled, leave the cart. Check the composition. If the first is water, the second is proprietary blend 10 mg, 0 benefit. Ask a urologist. A good doctor is always aware of clinical trials. Want to dissolve the plug? The most reliable chemical reaction is movement plus orgasm plus water. Everything else is just beautiful advertising. But we are connecting the fourth engine, lifestyle. In the final chapter, I'll give a step-by-step checklist, from Kegels to tomato paste, so that a simple nut doesn't turn into a mechanical barrier. If this demystification saved your wallet from an extra $80, like, share with a friend. And right, checking fact checks, so everyone sees how many of us, men, have chosen science over miracle labels. What to do. From age 40, see a urologist once a year. PSA analysis plus digital rectal examination. Psychology. Fear of the finger gives way to the fear of a catheter. Write the date in your phone right now. Interactive. Write in the comments scheduled an appointment. A public promise increases compliance by 40%. Basics. 70% of the plate, vegetables, whole grains, legumes 20%, fish or lean proteins 10%, smart fats, olive oil, avocado, nuts. Super weapon. Cooked tomatoes, 1 tablespoon. Tomato paste equals 12 mg, lycopene 10% PSA in 3 months, Ohio Clinic. Formula 3T. Tomato plus turmeric plus tea, green, daily antioxidant cocktail for the prostate. 30-minute rule. Brisk walking or cycling at least 5 days per week. Strength training, 2 times. Kegels. Squeeze the muscles as if trying to stop the stream, hold for 5 seconds, relax. 10 representatives, 3 sets a day. Do it in the elevator, while driving, during a Zoom meeting. Fact booster. Mayo Clinic study, men training the pelvic floor for 8 weeks, frequency of nighttime trips to 35%. 2 liters of water, basic minimum. 3 intakes evenly, morning, day, evening, constant dilution of urine. 4-hour rule, do not allow a gap longer than 4 hours without a bathroom visit, flush the system, prevent stasis. Number what it means, how to track 7 days in a row, to keep a diary, food, water, activity, ejaculations, notes, app, or PDF printout from QR code 21 ejaculation, per month 21 times, ball tracker calendar. See section 3. 365 once a year, checkup. The rest of the time, live by the 4 pillars reminder in Google Calendar. Take a screenshot of the table set as phone wallpaper. Visual anchor. Blake takes out an empty plastic cup with a bright sticker taboo, drops it into the bin. Shame has just been thrown into the trash. Now you are the sheriff. Task: 30 seconds after the video ends, send the link to a friend with the words "check your nut." Even if he laughs, you might save his male future. Like, for courage. Subscribe, for new chapters on the heart, testosterone, and brain. In the comments, one habit you're starting today. Not tomorrow, not on Monday. Today. See you at the next checkup. And remember, a healthy prostate is not silence, it's action.